What's good with it, Duval? It's y'all's boy UC at Jaguar Report with GenJag.com, and day one of the Jaguars OTAs is officially in the books. So, in this video, I'm basically going to discuss some takeaways from today's practice and just go over a little bit more news and notes surrounding the Jaguars. So, let's get it. Alright, so before I kind of start going into what happened today, I'm just going to basically discuss what an OTA is. It basically stands for Organized Team Activity, and the Jaguars have 10 of them this offseason, and OTAs are completely voluntary, so if you miss it, you won't get fined or you won't get in trouble or whatever. And then, in addition, there's a 3-day mandatory mini camp that you have to report to, so if anybody holds out of that or misses that, then they are subject to getting fined. And there are some players who didn't participate in today's practice. The 3 of them were no-shows, with Brandon Albert, Telvin Smith, and Jalen Ramsey. Basically, Telvin Smith, the Coach Monroe knew about that he was going to be missing because he kind of told him before practice. He understood that about Jalen Ramsey's situation, but he thought he was going to be, sounds like he thought he was going to be reporting to practice, but he never did. And obviously, Brandon Albert wasn't there, but I guess some positive notes about Brandon Albert is that he is talking to the organization, and I expect him to be coming in by the time mandatory minicamp comes. And then to go over some more of the players who didn't practice, basically our starting 5 secondary didn't practice, with our cornerbacks Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye, and Aaron Colvin, and then our 2 starting safeties, Barry Church and Tashawn Gibson, weren't in practice. So they didn't discuss why they weren't in practice or what kind of injuries they might have had that were holding them out. But right now we're 5 months away from the season starting, so I wouldn't be too worried about any of them missing practice. And then some more players that missed practice were running back TJ Yeldon, Neil Sterling, and DeJuan Smoot are the 3rd-round defensive end that we got. And yeah, I wouldn't stress too much about these guys missing. And then Marone didn't discuss too much about kind of what went on the field. I mean, it's the first day of that this team has actually been together in a practice. So obviously there's still a lot of just kind of conditioning work and getting used to playing as a team, running through different drills and getting to feel what it's going to be like when regular practices start. But the most interesting thing you kind of heard today was how Marone was planning on switching up the O-line in a sense. Like, he was talking about moving Brandon Linder out to guard, playing AJ Cann trying him a little bit out at left guard where he used to play in college, and moving Parnell around to guard. Now, this has been a common conversation that's been going on this offseason, but I've always kind of been against trying to do that, just because I don't really see what the point of playing musical chairs with these linemen are. Like, I don't see how moving AJ Cann from right guard to left guard is all of a sudden to make him play great just because that's what he played in college. And I don't see how moving like Parnell to guard, how that's going to benefit, just because he looks like a tackle. I don't really see him as playing guard, but I'd like to keep Linder at center just because I think he's better than any guard we have, and you want to have your best interior lineman at center. But who knows what they're trying to get out of this. But I really fully expect center to right tackle being the same starting lineup this year, with Linder, AJ Cann, and then Parnell. Then basically the left side line being Brandon Albert and Cam Robinson. But we'll see how that progresses throughout training camp and whatnot. But some more interesting notes. The Jaguars announced that they're going to be having joint practices with the Patriots over in Foxborough. So that'll be good stuff, just because Doug Marone noted how the Jaguars, they play against a 4-3 defense every day at practice because that's what the Jaguars defense runs. But now they're going to be being able to practice against a 3-4 defense, which more and more teams in the NFL are switching to every year, and most of the AFC, I believe, actually runs a 3-4 defense. So that'll be good practice for the team to get a whole look at a new style of defense. And in other interesting Jaguar news, Brian Walters was actually placed on the injured reserve list with a foot injury. So, which that kind of stinks. I mean, Brian Walters is kind of a fan favorite, but of course he was one of the guys that would be fighting for an in spot on the roster. But now it looks like there's going to be a roster competition between Aurelius Ben, Rashad Green, and I guess this dude from this wide receiver from Syracuse, like Mba Atu, some weird ass name. But the competition will be between them three, and I really think it'll come down to probably Aurelius Ben would make it over Rashad Green at this point, and then it may upset some Jaguar FSU fans out there. But I just really think that Ben offers a lot more special teams wise, and Rashad Green is really they're gonna be testing him out at punt return a lot this preseason, because that's really going to be his main chance of making this roster. And in other Jaguar news, offensive lineman Orlando Franklin and wide receiver Victor Cruz are going to be visiting Jacksonville in the next couple of days. I've already made a video talking about my thoughts on Victor Cruz. I don't think the Jaguars will sign him just because I don't think he'd be a very good fit here. I mean, you never know with the Brian Walters injury, but I don't see him signing a contract. And with Orlando Franklin, it's interesting because a lot of people, it's a big perception that we need O-linemen really bad. But the thing about us is I think we need better talent at the starting offensive line, but I think we have a pretty good amount of depth on the roster, and really I'm not that big on Orlando Franklin. I actually think Omame was actually better than Orlando Franklin. I think some of the backup options they have might even be better than him too. But I don't see Orlando Franklin being an option for this team either. And then I guess one last bit of little random news for more interesting Jaguar fans. As we all know, Malik Jackson, he was number 90 for the Jaguars last year, and he was number 97 when he was back on the Broncos. Now with Roy Miller getting cut, he actually is number 97 now. So shout out to all you guys who bought a number 90 Malik Jackson jersey. I hope there's not too many of y'all out there, but he's going to be repping that 97 now. But alright guys, that's the end of my video. Thanks for checking it out. Also, be sure to check out my live stream Q&A tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Definitely be there. Fire off some questions to me. You can ask me anything, whether it's about Jaguars, around the NFL, or even like personally, I don't care. We'll make it fun. I'll be drinking. It'll be a good time. So, alright, that's all I got. This is y'all's boy UC Jaguar reporting with Generation Jaguar. Check them out at genjag.com. And I'm out.
First, I want to ask Dalton, and you have a popular YouTube channel.
Thank you.